oh, that's that person. However, last year I was calling a game at our statewide tournament, and one team had two players with beautifully glittery shorts. And when they were on track at the same time, that theory blew out the window.
See, like, I always like, also when you're scrolling through photos, it's really easy to find yourself, except when one of your head coaches wears the same shorts as you. And even though they're half your size, you're like, oh, that's me. And you're like, oh, no, that's not me.
Okay, so for Team Indigenous Dreaming, we will be having Slim Skatey jamming. Yay! See, she's waving to me and I'm waving back. And I'm just waiting to see who will be jamming for Team Triple Threat. I saw them a minute ago and...
27 Trooper.
27 Trooper. Awesome. The wonderful thing about Derby is no matter when we hold a tournament, you can get track issues. I've been at this particular venue when it's been so hot, the track kept lifting up because the adhesive was, not sticking because of the heat. And today we're having issues with moisture. It's part of the game. So, tell me a bit about the Kiwi Derby scene.
Oh, yeah, we got a few teams in New Zealand. Obviously, we've got a lot of New Zealanders preparing for World Cup at the moment. And I am from Palmerston North, or Te Papaoia, where we have Swamp City Roller Derby. And we also, half our team makes up New Zealand's Indigenous team, which is Mana Tangata Aotearoa, who have wānanga like every 2 or 3 months, which is kind of like a chill time at a marae where you get to learn more about the Māori language, which and traditions, and talk about stuff like that. We've also translated a lot of terms, Derby terms, to Te Reo Māori, so you might hear me accidentally say kimu, which is game, kai pero for jammer, kai arai for blockers, because we're just so used to the Māori versions of those words.
Look, but that sounds incredible because I remember in that time that we don't mention anymore how New Zealand were the first country to get roller derby up and running again and watching some events. All right. Okay, well,
we have Trooper as the lead kaipero in black for Triple Threat Rollers.
And we have Slim Skatey, who is jamming for Team Indigenous Dreaming.
Some beautiful O there from Triple Threat, helping Trooper take the outside line. No, I do have to say that time was terrifying because we'll just be having some casual games and you'd see the whole world was watching our live streams.
Oh, look, that first game that was, I remember watching the stream. I was loving it because the commentators that were on the stream were asking, where you were watching and what time in your area was. And there was people up. We were so starved for Derby. It was like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah, all eyes were definitely on Aotearoa at that time. We have got some really tough packs out there. Both kaipero are struggling to get through.
Alrighty, now I'm just trying to see who. Okay,
so for Triple Threat Rollers,
it's 71.
Momo.
And for Team TIG,
it is 777 Hardonna. So Momo did manage to secure a lead jammer, and it looks like Hardonna is going to the penalty box. So it is a power jam to our Triple Threat Rollers. Kaiarai are doing a good passive defense, just so Momo can push through that wall really quickly
Yeah.
and efficiently.
All right, and as we have our 5-second reformation, I don't know if you've been told that Team Indigenous Streaming, this is their first event since 2019. After that time, we don't speak about. They've, we all over here had to not play nicely for 2 years unless you're in WA. And so they have finally reformed, and this is their first hit out as Team Indigenous Streaming since 2019.
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
are glad to have them back.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see that they've accepted the invite and put pulled the team
And
together.
I think Knucklehead just flew out. I know that there was a 710. Oh, that was a
Correct.
good guess from me. Meanwhile, Hardonna has come out from the bench.
Swooping around the outside, but hits the last line of defense. El Bent. And
Alrighty. And I'm going to give a shout out to the amazing Achilles Wheels, who has found the spot on the track that sometimes gets a bit meh and is constantly making sure that it is not meh. Well, I don't know if it's just slippery or we've got raindrops, so meh suits it.
I mean, I think it's a bit of both, right? Like it's really cold here at the moment. Well, for Australians, it's cold. So the floor's probably a bit more slippery. And there is, a bit of a leak going on, so amazing work. Even happening a bit of mid-jam while no one's around.
And look, and the ninja-like skills of precisely timing when I can go and wipe and not get wiped out.
Right? So impressive.
So currently we have Team Triple Threat Rollers on 26, with Team Indigenous Streaming on 0.
Still early days yet. Still could be finding their groove. I was just about to say that was a beautiful two-wall there, but...
So Gammon Jammin has successfully made their way through for lead. And Beats is jamming for Team Triple Threat. We are here at the Darebin Community Sports Centre in Reservoir, or if you're thinking, where's that? The old Reservoir High Secondary College. We are here both today and again tomorrow. And while it may be cold, we have a canteen here that is providing us with lovely hot drinks and warm food. And we are also easily accessible by public transport. Go to Southern Cross Station, jump on the 86 tram, and you'll be here in about half an hour. Or you can drive, whichever suits you. But I will tell you, it is cold, so rug up. Today I've actually donned my hoodie in public.
And here I am wearing a sheer shirt, which doesn't have a lot of layers to it.
But is that an Indigenous themed from your area shirt?
No.
All right.
Unfortunately, I did not bring any of my mana tangata merch over.
Okay, so who?
Trooper has been sent to the penalty box, so it is a power jam for Team Indigenous Streaming. And I'm just trying to figure out who the Kaipero is. It is Experiment? Yes, 626.
Experiment.
Beautiful, trying to push against that last line of defence, who was Savage.
Okay, so
Experiment calls it to keep opposition Kaipero possibly frozen, but no, it looks like Trooper was just released, unfortunately.
alrighty. You know, I love commentating, but sometimes I wish I was on skates and staying warm. Not when it's 40 degrees, but like on a day like today. But no, we are so lucky, and we I would like to thank the organising committee, and I'd like to pay a special shout out to the wonderful, amazing person who put together 2 tracks worth of equipment so that we could run this live stream. The amazing Jen, who is sitting to my left next to Simba. Without that, we would not have a live stream. So, on behalf of the commentary team, Jen, we'd like to thank you for that. And our organising committee, which was chaired by the wonderful Exie, who has been running around. We've had Cheeks, we have Bullseye, and Lanky, who's also on the organising committee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They've put a lot of hard work into getting this tournament up and running, from finding a venue that can host 2 tracks for 3 days is not an easy gig, especially on a long weekend, and we are competing against basketball tournaments throughout the state that run for 3 days. But to getting sponsorship and our vendors and team notifications and rosters, it really is an incredible job. Though we're here till about midnight on Friday setting up this track, and then back here 7 a.m. yesterday setting up track 2, and whatever we couldn't get done the night before. So a big, huge thank you to our organising committee for this inaugural OTTA tournament. OTTA meaning open to all.
Yeah, it's like a really impressive event and setup. Last tournament I went to, actually our team hosted, it was 2 tracks right next to each other, so at least you don't have competing whistles or anything like that.
I have actually been here when we've had 2 tracks running in this same, where we've got one, and yeah, it was so hard. Can I say ring a rosy? Because that was an awesome circle there. And I get a bit silly. All right, so we have a power jam situation, and I believe it's Slim Skady 182.
Yes, it is Slim Skady and gets through as the lead.
I called these guys yesterday, so some of the names and numbers are starting to stick.
Yeah, the more you commentate, the easier it gets. But
oh yeah.
And that is 3 letting up 3 skaters out of the penalty box for triple threat rollers all at once.
Bit of a tsunami of players, you could say, coming out. So Lanky has now done their first initial pass, and the jam has been called. We have triple threat rollers on 30, and Slim Katie picked up a handy 12 points. As we say, 2 minutes is a long time in Derby, and we are in an official timeout.
Yeah, it looks like there just might be a couple extra pauses in this game to dry up our moist spot on the track. Got to keep the skaters safe.
Exactly. I mean, look, we love the team at Deadly Sports Plus First Aid, but we really only love them when we go and have a social chat. But, you know, we hope that they're actually really bored, because that means that we have no injuries.
Yeah.
But we're happy to go and have a chat anytime. I want to see the creation later and see how far you get, because we have a knitting happening. which means that our players are safe. Now, housekeeping. If you are here today for the first time, you will notice that all the bathrooms in the building have been signed as gender neutral. You will find the signs will say either gender neutral with a urinal or gender neutral with a sanitary bin. That is because Derby is an inclusive sport and this tournament is open to all, and we want every single official, player, spectator, stall holder, etc. to be able to be their genuine self in the most genuine way. And we are back about to roll again, and the Achilles is just going to do a magic zoop. Oh, I even timed that with the zoop. All right, so Team Knucklehead has the lead for Team Indigenous Streaming, and Hardonna has the...
Knucklehead just creeping in on the apex, just doing a small little hop through, securing 4 points. Really fast-moving pack at the moment.
Yeah, look, the pack work has been remarkable. That was one thing I really noticed yesterday. It was really hard to call some games because you literally could not make out who was who. The pack was so tight. Oh, and an apex jump.
And then a spin.
And we had a lot of toast-up ballet, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And we had the matrix moves.
Right.
Where you feel like they're literally like to stay on track and you just see the body bend. You can't half tell I spend most of my time in year 1 with kids with all my crazy explanations.
As a Kaipedo, as a jammer myself, I like my feet being firmly on the ground.
Definitely.
So watching these apex jumps gets me a little bit nervous, a little bit excited.
Look, I happen to know some of the players on the game coming up next on this particular track, and there will be apex jumps, trust me.
A bit of a tumble there with Knucklehead. And cooling it off, getting a bit tired, but not before picking up 24 points.
So we have Team Triple Threat on 54 and Team Indigenous Streaming on 16, and we are approaching the halfway mark of this first half. When we get to halftime, I'd like to remind all of our spectators, even vendor holders, if they want to do now, to go for a walk, get the blood flowing, warm up, and then come back.
Yeah, don't forget to come back, please.
No. I will chase you down with the mic. All right, and we have Team Indigenous Streaming with Experiment taking lead. And it looks like beats for Team Triple Threat.
Momo gets through on their initial pass with Experiment slipping through and getting 4 points.
I was mentioning yesterday to some of our viewers on the live stream who may not be entirely familiar but are watching because they know someone here, that it can be very, very strategic in that sometimes it's about scoring points and sometimes it's about preventing the opponent scoring, and sometimes it's both. All right, so...
Whew.
We have beats for Team Triple Threat.
Helped by Spoonie Love, just really pushing through. being a great bulldozer there. And 182, who is Slim Skatey Kaipedo for Team Indigenous Dreaming.
Okay, and as a
Beats coming in for a score and pass, and poor Slim Skatey up against the 4 wall.
And you will also notice that when you enter our venue, we have a massive raffle. And guess what? The prizes are a stuffed otter toy.
We were just talking about, because some people were like, how do I fit that in my luggage? And I was like, if you go over to Spank Alley, they have the sewing machine here, and they can maybe sew the arms together so it can cuddle you on the plane and be a backpack, or...
Oh yeah. Or you could get a scrim top and a helmet cover, and put it in the car so you can go in the transit lane with 2 people.
Oh, amazing! So clever.
Okay, and with that, Beats has called that jam. But yes, no, the prizes are amazing, and yeah, I think there's a lot of people who want those otter toys. Me included. All right, so this lineup will have Trooper going up against... Ooh,
I cannot read the numbers from this
I
far
want
away.
to say slamming, gammon jammin', I would like to say, I think. All right. But both defensive packs doing such an incredible job, with Trooper forcing their way through for lead. Alrighty. I must admit, I've been looking at the merch stalls and that no one's got beanies. Mind you, I did remember to bring one from home yesterday.
Yeah.
But beanies are always loved. I have a collection. I have too many beanies for one head. All right, so who do we have? We have...
Pins and Needles, who's Kaipedo for Triple Threat Rollers. So this is our first jam this game.
And we have for Team Triple Threat,
Hardonna.
777, which is Hardonna.
Pins and Needles managing to get through as lead Kaipedo. Coming through on the scoring pass now. Hardonna really pushing up against that rough wall of Triple Threat Rollers there.
With TID equally holding up the jammer for Team Triple Threat. One thing that a lot of our viewers, if this is day one for them, will not know that this is a Division 2 game, which means there are 11 teams in this division. So each team will be playing a minimum of 4 games. And then if they go through to a final, there will be those games. Plus, a lot of players here will also be reffing. So I would say we have some of the fittest people I know here today, because it is endurance and sprint. We've had a successful star pass for Team Indigenous Streaming, and Feminem has taken their... Alrighty. Ooh, and we're going to have a team timeout to Team Indigenous Streaming for a minute. Alrighty, now. Look, Hawkeye, give a wave to show people where they can find you. Oh, he's setting someone up for another photo shoot. I will say that Hawkeye is one of the few people who, if I know has taken a photo of me, I generally get excited about, because I'm not a photo person at all. But we have so many wonderful photographers. We have Brett from Crossroads Media. We have another photographer, and I'm not sure their company name. I will endeavour to find out, or if they want to come and write it down at the desk, we can do that as well, to give them a shout out, because photos are a lasting memory of what we are able to do. All right, so
Oh, a beautiful push.
Experiment has jumped out.
And last-ditch defence against Starry Night, the Kaipero for Triple Threat Rollers.
It was kind of ironic that Starry Night took the star.
Amazing.
I must admit, my colleagues at work are kind of going to be glad that I'm going to have no voice by Tuesday when I go back to work. Because I just think of random things and they just...
Blah.
But hey, I spend my day in grade 1.
Yeah.
You know.
So up as Kaipero for Triple Threat Rollers, we have Momo and we have Slim Skatey for Team Indigenous Streaming, who has been sent to the penalty box. So I believe this is now a power jam for Triple Threat Rollers. But Team Indigenous Streaming doing that reform thing, and just, you know, as a jammer, you think you're getting through, and then more blockers keep coming. And Triple Threat Rollers trying to hold one back to keep the pack definition back, so Momo can keep pushing through.
That was amazing bit of defensive play there by Team Indigenous's defence line.
Right.
Because they pretty much held up that jammer the entire apex.
It was, yeah, really impressive. And as a jammer during a power jam, I get anxiety in a power jam scenario, because I'm like, I have to be good. So to be held up like that isn't easy.
Especially when we have 8 wheels under us.
Yeah, right? So Slim Skatey is out of the penalty box, and I believe they are holding on to the star at the moment.
And the jam has just been called off by Starry Night.
Momo?
Oh, and we have our screen up again. Yay!
Yeah, we've got our screen up. But I'm going to keep standing up so I can keep warm.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm kind of doing a bit of both, because like I haven't been to gym this week, and so at least I'm getting some leg work done.
Yeah.
I looked at the gym where I'm staying at the hotel last night and I thought, I should, but yeah, no.
No, it's a long weekend. Trooper getting lead jammer for Triple Threat Rollers. And I believe Hardonna is Kaipero for Team Indigenous Streaming.
And we have a scoreline of Triple Threat on 92, Team Indigenous on 22, and we are into the last 8 minutes of this first half, which will be an opportunity to go to the bathroom, move around, get warm, get some warm drinks or food.
Just absolutely love that star pass to Gammon Jammin, who goes in, does a little bit of jammer on jammer action, and then spins out, just to show everyone what they're about. Amazing.
And the quality of the games, that this game in particular, considering that these teams are made up of players that don't play together on a regular basis, the talent is incredible and they've just come together so well matched.
Right. So Pins and Needles sneaking in on the inside line, securing lead for triple threat rollers. 626, I should know this person by
Experiment.
now. Is jammer for Team Indigenous Streaming. Did get hit out and run back by that triple threat wall.
All right.
TN Princess Muscles really making Experiment work to get through. Finally gets through on their initial pass. Pins and Needles still on the first scoring pass, I believe. Manages to get through and collect those 4 points. A really fast moving pack again, trying to stop Team Indigenous Streaming from getting any points. Does get hit out last minute by Savage.
Alrighty, and that is another jam that has come to an end.
Yeah, triple threat rollers keeping it rolling until the Turu Naughty is empty, the penalty box. And the MVP of this game on the track, the towel again.
The towel and the tally. Definitely a special mention to the person with the towel.
Oh, beautiful juke there by Whammy. Lead Kaipero for triple threat. Hardonna is Kaipero currently for Team Indigenous Streaming.
Alrighty.
Whammy really coming in with a lot of energy. I think it's possibly their first time jamming this game. Just a lot of speed and a lot of juking.
Okay, now, also, I've just checked some of my updates, and I have found out who the amazing other photographer who is here this weekend, and that is Ra from Social Ground Media, who is helping us with our wonderful photos. And with that, we have another team jam finished.
We're about 3 minutes left in this half. Triple threat rollers on 118 and Team Indigenous Dreaming on 28 points. We have Momo jamming for triple threat rollers and Slim Skatey up for Team Indigenous Dreaming. Both walls giving each of the Kaipero a rough time.
Also, I've been looking at some of the information that we have, and Like school camp, a tournament, we always end up with some lost and found. Now, we have one of our officials who is missing something vital, and that is their travel cup. Now, it is one of the new fancy schmancy LD ones, white with coloured stripes, and may have been around the other track or elsewhere in the venue. If you've found that, could you perhaps take it to the check-in desk, and that way we can get it back, because when we are officialing, we so need our hydration, as do the skaters. Whether you're an NSO, skating ref, commentator, player, we all need hydration. So if anyone finds that particular cup, if they could send it to the check-in desk, and we will get it back to them.
Yeah. So Team Indigenous Streaming currently do have a power jam in their favour. Slim Skatey pushing through, but Triple Threat Rollers not making it easy for them whatsoever. Oh, a little hop and a skip. And manages to get through again. And I believe that was the full 2 minutes there. Team Indigenous Streaming picking up some points. So we have got Knucklehead Kaipero for Triple Threat Rollers at the moment, and I'm just trying to see Kai for Team Indigenous Streaming. It is Experiment. Knucklehead really bouncing around there, but Team Indigenous Streaming doing a relatively good job of shutting them down.
Yes, indeed. And we are into the last 30 odd seconds of this jam, which does not mean that there can't be another one, because weirder things have happened. However, we will then be taking a 15-minute break, getting ourselves warm, getting ourselves hydrated, fed, so we don't get the hangry happening.
Yeah.
Hangry is so real. I think that's one of the first words some of my grade ones learned from me. Is hangry.
Yeah.
Especially in the lead up to our recess and lunch breaks.
Amazing. And there we are at intermission. So 15 minutes to get hydrated, get yourself some kai, some food, have a look at our amazing vendors around, put yourself in the draw for the
home to wherever you are somehow.
Yeah, we'll make it work. Oh, we will be back in 15-ish minutes.
No worries, we will. you know.
We're about to head into the second half, but before we do, just some really big shout out to people who really got this tournament up and running. So Victoria State Government for really helping make OTTA become a reality, and also to Skate Australia as a key contributor to the development of our officials in Ritidapa or roller derby across Australia.
All right. We'd also like to thank our friends at Deadly Sports Plus First Aid for being such a supporter of our sports. In here in Victoria, they are pretty much at every roller derby event you will find. And they not only patch us up and put us back together, but they also do trainings and sell first aid kits, all those things that everyone should have. We have Trooper and
Experiment up as Kaipero for both our teams. It's going to be interesting to see how this half goes. Starting it off with a power jam. Both Kaipero are going to the Turu Naughty. One sits down, the other one gets up, and then maybe a few seconds, and then Trooper is back on.
That was an interesting start to that jam, because effectively, after the whistle, both jammers basically both fell, both got up, and then both got sent to the bin. You could not plan that.
I love it. It's great. And what a way to start the second half, but with a 2-minute jam.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure we're all warm and back from our break.
Well, while we were having a break, I popped my head next door because I happen to know that there are people who are interested in the game that's happening next door, or, you know, like I was yesterday, wanting to be in two places at once. And the score when I was there had the Otta Mystics on 42 with Westside Wreckers on 93. Now, of course, that will change, but that was state of play about 10 minutes ago.
Trooper getting hit out just before they could sneak through on the inside line by, I wish I could read that blocker's numbers.
All right. And Experimenters paid another visit to the friendly people at our penalty bin by the looks of it. Or were they recycled? No, it was a penalty.
Just want to shout out there, Bruty's butt was completely a magnet for Trooper, really slowing them down a bit there in that scoring pass. And look, our MVP is back on the track, our Tau, keeping the moisture off the track and our skaters safe.
Yes.
And who is our Tau operator?
Leo Slayer, who must make us feel like dancing, is being our wonderful MVP in charge of our MVP Tau.
Up as Kaipero, we've got Savage up for triple threat rollers, just managing to push through. But what a way to kind of shut down a power jam start.
And Experiment is back on the track.
A beautiful spin out of the pack by Experiment. I believed. But back to the penalty box.
I would also like to thank the Darebin Community Sports Centre here, where we are playing this weekend. For those that are interstate or international, King's Birthday now weekend is a very big tournament in weekend for basketball, and they have a 3-day tournament and venues all over the state. So for us to get a venue, have 2 dedicated tracks which could have been part of basketball, we are very grateful that they've said, yep, Derby can come and we can have the place for the whole weekend.
Amazing. I know in New Zealand we had King's birthday weekend last weekend, so still very happy to be here.
Well, exactly. And look, I just think he's got it made having more than one birthday. All right, number 4 for Triple Threat is Pins and Needles, and they will be up against
Experiment.
Experiment.
A beautiful, just casually skating on the outside line and picking up 4 points for Experiment. Pins and Needles getting stuck a little bit behind the Team Indigenous wall. Experiment really fighting their way through the TID, the blockers for Triple Threat, to make up for all the time they've just spent in the penalty box. Kia kaha, Experiment, you can do it.
Alrighty.
Conserving the energy for when it counts. These 2-minute jams can definitely go on for a bit. Keeping the wall back, the pack back.
And that was just an incredible play to watch, because Team Indigenous Streaming worked so hard to create a path for Hex to get through.
Pins and Needles is now out of the penalty box. And we have got 13 seconds left on the jam. Can both the teams get 4 points on this? Pins and Needles get through.
Alrighty. And Experiment picked up another 4 points. So we've had a bit of a score jump.
Yeah, Team Indigenous Streaming got 16 points in that jam, so they're up to 56 now. And Triple Threat Rollers are 153, so closing in the gap a little bit.
And when you think that the Team Indigenous Streaming did not have a jammer for a lot of that jam, for a minute I would say, that's pretty incredible.
Really great.
Now, who do we have? We have Knucklehead is jamming for TID, and Hardonna is jamming for TID.
Just a beautiful run on the inside line by Hard Knuckle there, picking up another 4 points. The Uhi, the star cover, is off for Hardonna, possibly looking to make a pass to the Kaihuri.
Oh, and my beautiful apex jump there. I know, my friend, you don't like them, but I like watching them.
Oh, I like watching them, absolutely. Do I like doing them? Not at all.
Though if you were here today, you would be jumping puddles outside, because it's so wet this morning.
We have got Hardonna still pushing through, really keeping at it, which is great to see.
Alrighty, now.
Coming in for some Team Indigenous Streaming, and already forgotten that Kopero's name. Calls it off.
Alrighty. Do you know what I'm seeing? And I'm wishing we could almost have a fashion parade. I am seeing so many amazing hoodies around that we could have an hoodie fashion parade, because we've got hoodies and onesies. Because let's face it, we know it gets cold here. It would be awesome, because I keep seeing them and going, oh, I want that one, or oh, I want that one.
No,
Maybe
so
not out loud, but yeah.
my problem is I've got all these amazing clothes at home, but the only time I really leave the house is for derby events. So I would not waste my one time out of the house in an hoodie, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, I remember one year I wore my hoodie. I work in a school as a support aide, and I remember I got to wear an hoodie to school 3 days on Mufti dress up day or free dress days. We had one was your favourite book character for Book Week, and I had a unicorn one. So I was Thelma the Unicorn.
Amazing.
Oh, no, that was my onesie. Then we had an age of teaching, Udi for remote learning. And I can't remember what the fourth one was, but yeah, so I was nice and warm in the middle of winter.
Amazing. Amazing.
Oh, what a see! We just had our two jammers there, having a nice hug before they take on each other.
Oh, honestly, one of the best things about being a jammer is you get to really know the opposition jammers.
Yeah, and we've got Slim, Skatey, and
Whammy for her triple threat rollers. Whammy has managed to secure a lead. Slim Skatey has managed to push through the triple threat rollers wall. Coming in for a scoring pass now, hopefully. Manages to just avoid that butt on the inside line with a quick hip twist and gets those 4 points. Whammy is now back in fighting the pack.
yeah.
That real tenacious butt of Bruty in Team Indigenous Streaming. Just really great one-on-one blocking. And
Yes, when you consider that these teams, this is probably their third game in under 24 hours.
yeah,
It's showing the supreme fitness of the players out there. Also, we've got players that have come from warm climates to freezing cold. And yeah, the fitness here. We also have skaters in the house who will be representing Australia both at the World Championships in Innsbruck, Austria at the end of the month, beginning of next month, as well as some going to the Southeast Asia Games, and as a country, Brisbane, our Olympic city in 32, is hosting the Junior World Roller Derby Finals. So, you know, as a little country at the bottom of the globe, we're hitting well. And you guys have, of course, got teams going to Worlds.
yeah, and I think we've got a junior team coming over in a few months' time as well.
Awesome.
But how amazing is it to have a World Cup, even if it's the Junior World Cup, down this side of the globe?
Oh yeah, and it gives players like our players this year will have a chance that some may never have had, and that is a home world championships. And like if you guys were hosting the world champs, it would be the same for yours.
Yeah, way much so cheaper, and gives the rest of the world a perspective of how hard it is to travel to their side of the world for events.
And the cost, because it's just because you're on the national team, unlike swimming and other events, they don't pay our way. So there will be a lot of fundraising, raffles, Bunnings barbecues, trivia nights, you name it.
So many Bunnings barbecues in New Zealand at the moment for
Oh, yeah.
Derby.
Yep. We've done 3 ourselves. My team has done 3 ourselves. And just to help our skaters to be able to travel to represent our country. And Lanky has just taken the star after a star pass. So if you're out and about and you see a fundraiser for Derby, jump on in, because you know, when you consider airfares, accommodation, equipment, excess baggage, it all adds up. So, you know, even if it's just a, you know, $2, even if it's a 2 sausages and a can of Coke at a Bunnings sausage sizzle, it all makes a difference.
So another penalty for triple threat jammer.
All right. And that was a push in the back penalty. So we are now in a power jam scenario, and we are coming up to the halfway mark of this second half. And with that, our jam has been called.
So this
The
will
amazing Leo Slayer is making sure our floor is dry. And we will be starting off in a power jam scenario with, I want to say, I think it's, I can't quite tell. I think it's Slammin' Jammin'.
It is.
Oh, Gammon Jammin'. See, I was close.
Yeah.
I knew it had jammin' in it. And Lanky's been released.
Trooper coming in with some speed.
And now on a scoring pass.
Gammon Jammin' manages to get through.
This is such an amazing game to watch. And I just thought of something we hadn't told the people at home. If they're, you know, their best friends have said, come around, I'm watching roller derby, and they're thinking, what is going on? You will notice that on each team there will be 2 players with covers on their helmets. Now, for both teams, one will be a stripe, and that player is called a pivot. And the pivot is a key component to the team because the other player with a cover, which is usually a star, but in our case a star and a yarning circle, they are the jammer, and they are in charge of, they are the offensive player charged with obtaining points. They can, however, hand that responsibility over to the pivot, and then the pivot becomes the jammer. And that they are the only 2 people that can do that. So it's quite a intensive job. So now we are back playing, and we have
Momo up jamming for triple threat rollers, and we have got Hardonna as Kaipiro for Team Indigenous Streaming. The star is the Uhi is already off, the cover is already off for Hardonna. Is there going to be a pass? Momo in for the scoring pass. Gypsy Wild hitting them out a little bit.
And that was another quick jam. But we've had some amazing score changes coming up. We've got Team Triple Threat on 199 and Team Indigenous on 74.
You know, I'm really excited to see what these teams pull out tomorrow, considering a lot of these teams, both these teams don't actually practice together all the time.
No, and I've noticed a difference in Team Indigenous streaming from the game that I called yesterday, because they're really starting to get to know each other's styles, so with each game, both teams are learning how each other move and preferences, etc., and getting their pods worked out just nicely. For those listening at home, a pod is, as you will see, every time we change switch between jams, a new block of skaters will come out. And in Dermy terms, we call them pods. And we call them a pod because they generally always are that combination and know how that combination works. So to skate in a team that you may have only met 2 days before the tournament to forming really strong pods is incredible. Okay, and we are about to get underway again. Our Leo Slayer will dance that little tail off the floor shortly, and we have for the jammer.
I believe that's Knucklehead. Is it Knucklehead? Could be wrong. We'll find out.
We've got a power jam. That's why I was getting confused. So, jamming for Team Indigenous will be okay, we're in an official timeout at the moment, and we were just looking at some pretty amazing stats because we have the statistician with the mostest with us here, right near the desk, and is able to show us how and when the jams and the differential, etc. So yeah, cumulative score by jam, and when Team Indigenous Dreaming get jammed, they're quite successful.
Yeah. Like what we can see is, especially the second half, they have had more points while they've been getting points as well. So their score has really increased this half so far.
I must admit, last year, and I can't remember where it was, but I was commentating with a friend, and we had this set up, and it was amazing because the team that actually obtained lead the most actually didn't, their scoreline didn't represent that. So the team that was not successful at jamming was getting more points.
Yeah, but
it was really bizarre.
I guess if you have those really, those jams where the jammers are out one after another, that you're not going to get too many points.
No, and it was incredible to watch this because we were looking at the stats going, my head is saying that it should be this way, but yeah. So there's, at the moment we're doing some track tape repairs. People may not know that when we lay a track, we have a layer of tape, then a layer of rope, then another layer of tape over that to keep our players safe. Because wheels and rope don't really go well together.
No, but they really help let you know when you actually go out of bounds.
Exactly.
So we look to have, I should be able to recognise these jammers by now, Knucklehead and Experiment up as our jammers. And Experiment finding a gap on the inside, securing lead. Knucklehead isn't too far off.
Oh, wow.
We love a beautiful apex jump. But it's also a little bit sad where you do all that hard work and don't pick up a point. But
not only did they pick up a point, they also prevented scoring. So I would count that as a successful jam.
Oh, absolutely. Even if Team Indigenous Dreaming secured that 1 point, 1-0 is better than nothing.
Okay, so who do we have now?
Slim, Skatey and Beats as our Kaipedo, as our jammers.
Ooh.
Beats hasn't jammed too much this game. They've had a couple, I believe, but not too many. Beats is currently in lead.
And now we have the magical Scouticus coming to help our wonderful track slayer keep our track dry. Leo Slayer, for this game, we have renamed you Track Slayer because you are keeping us safe. I'm sorry, I confused Scouticus and Frank, and I don't know how I did that. So, Frank, please accept my deepest. Thank you. Alrighty. So we are past the halfway mark now with just over 11 minutes left to play. But as you can see, it is still anyone's game, really.
Yeah, like I think Team Indigenous Streaming have definitely found a really good flow and really found the defensive strategies now.
It certainly has been a game of two halves, but it's just been an incredible game to watch. And Beats is through for some more points there.
I believe that was a full 2 minutes, and that was 20 points going to Triple Threat, and that was Beats jamming.
2-minute jams as a player feel like the old 27 and 2 that we used to have to do back in the day to, to progress. They would have us do 27 laps of the track in 2 minutes, and oh my gosh, it was hard.
Yeah, no. I don't know people who like 2-minute jams. I don't like them, but they happen.
I think the pod following them does, because it gives them an extra couple of minutes. That 1 extra minute of a rest between jams is everything.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes I have had to run a jam in order to give my other jammers a break. We have Experiment through and lead for Team Indigenous Streaming. Whammy is our Kaipero for Triple Threat Rollers. And off to the penalty box. So it is a power jam. We'll see if Experiment can secure quite a few points. Although they're having a quick korero to the bench. Do you? Team Indigenous Dreaming trying to keep the wall back so Experiment can continue pushing through those blockers.
Rightio.
Whammy out of the penalty box and manages to sneak through. And a beautiful jump on the inside and weaves through the pack as well. Picking up 4 points, and then Experiment does call it.
Rightio. Now, given that we're under 10 minutes left in this game, I just thought I'd update players on what will be happening and where they can find their friends and family playing. Our next game, which will be game 3, on this track we will have the amazing Kingston City Rollers versus the Victorian Men's Roller Derby, which will be the final of the first pool games for Division 1. Then on our other track next to us, we will have simultaneously Sydney Roller Derby League and Varsity Derby League. Now, those two games, Division 1 here only has 4 teams. So each team plays each team once, and then they'll work out from the way there. And both teams played twice yesterday, and so having one game today will be a nice...
Yeah, a nice break.
Nice break.
I have to say, I am very excited to see Victoria Men's against Kingston. I think that will be a very close match.
Oh, look, I know Kingston City Rollers have often sort of had pick-up jams and things like that with VMRD, so they're very familiar not only with their own teammates, but with the other team. So that it is going to be a very interesting game.
So up jamming, we have got Momo and Experiment. Experiment taking a bit of a tumble and does a bit of a roll on the apex. And Momo off to the penalty box. So it's another power jam for Team Indigenous Streaming. I feel as though there's been quite a few jammer penalties this game, and you know they can really make a huge difference to a game.
It can make a huge difference, and it also can make for longer jams, because we've had 13 jams this jam. Oh, this half.
Yeah, so not as many as were in the last game at least. Momo has now been released. Experiment pushes through and secures a lead jammer.
And when it takes you down to turn 3 to get through the pack, that just shows how hard and how tough these players are. And with a little apex jump in there, just to seal the deal, they've picked up another 4 points. So...
Experiment trying to push her hips through that wall. Momo now trapped on the Team Indigenous Dreaming wall.
And one of the things why we are so focused on the hips is that is where that is the measurement of a score when you're on a scoring pass. How many players of the opposite team's hips you pass. So unlike horse racing, where it can be like whether it's a nose or an ear, or and in athletics, whether it's a fingertip, etc. Derby, it's the hips. So the more players' hips you pass, the more points you get.
Although my favourite thing is still putting your arms out saying you're bridging, even though it's still the hips. We have got Knucklehead up as Kai Pedal for Triple Threat Rollers, and Slim Skatey Kai Pedal for Team Indigenous Dreaming. Knucklehead secures lead and does a quick little hop on the inside to get 4 points. The Uhi Kaipero, the jammer cover is off for Slim, trying to find that gap to secure it. And where is Knucklehead off to?
I was going to say.
Knucklehead is off to the penalty box.
Okay, and there was a multiplayer penalty as well. So Team Triple Threat have both their main offensive players currently off track.
I just love that little run back that Whammy tried to do and just had one look at Gypsy Wild and went, no, I wasn't trying to run that jammer back. It was beautiful.
Oh, look, I love this sport, and you know, we can knock over the opposition and sometimes even our team, but we're the first ones to pick you up as well and laugh and
absolutely.
dance. It's a fantastic environment.
Knucklehead is back out of the Turu Naughty and doing some dancing and manages to get through for another 4 points.
And we're down to the last 2.5 minutes of this second game on track 2.
And how Knucklehead still has all that energy to do all that dancing, I have no idea.
Oh, look, I think adrenaline gets you through. And then when you stop, you're like,
Yes, I agree.
I know yesterday I was here calling, and I called 3 games in a row. And as soon as I got in the car and in the warm, I'm like, So the only homework that I had planned to do last night, so I could stay here longer today, has got to get done today.
How fun.
Which is a bit of a drag, especially when it's due in tonight. All right, so it looks like
That was amazing. So it's Experiment against Beats. Experiment really trying to just feed Beats into the wall, but Beats has found the way out to secure lead. Experiment, though, not too far off, takes the star off and is back on.
All right, and with that, Team Triple Threat have called the jam off, which means with 1 minute or under 1 minute left, we will be going to another jam. All right, and the 5 seconds being called. And we have Lanky going forward for... and going... So we now have a power jam that... Had Lanky been awarded lead before that happened?
No, it looks like Hardonna has picked up lead.
Awesome.
And what a great way to finish a game is...
exactly.
Power jam, leave it all on the track.
And this is the final jam of this game. Coming up next will be VMRD versus Kingston City Rollers. And on track 2, Sydney Roller Derby versus Varsity Derby League. And those 2 games will actually decide who plays in the grand final and who plays in the playoff for 3rd. We will be changing commentators. So we will have Katie and Deadpool on this track taking over. Though, if you hear me on the cast, it's just because I'm cheering to my team too loud. I apologise instead. Now, we are at the point where we have an unofficial score of 253 to 107. That was an incredible second half for Team Indigenous Streaming, because I think they've picked up over 50 points in that half alone.
Yeah. I think they got at least half their points in that, even more, I think.
Yeah, and so while our officials are dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and getting all the officially stuff done, we will wait for the rolling missile to indicate our final score. Congratulations to all of the players. That was an incredibly tough game, and we have the final whistle blown, and we'd like to congratulate both teams.
Yeah,
I will probably see you guys tomorrow, because I'm only calling this one game today, and it's been a pleasure working with you, Simba. I hope to work with you tomorrow.
All I know is I'm doing the final tomorrow, but it depends what I'm playing tomorrow as to what
I may get to call your game. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? So, all right. Well, that is it from us, and we will see you all soon.
Kia kite no